Resident Evil Requiem is a tale of two halves. On one side we have Grace running for her life against unimaginable horrors. On the other side we have Leon farming aura and dilly-dallying. My name's Real Bucko, and I only have 24 hours to 100% Resident Evil 9. Will I be able to accomplish the impossible by playing this game 3 times in a row without going clinically insane? Let's find out. Resident Evil 9 starts with Grace, an FBI agent, going to explore an old crime scene. Budget cuts must be affecting everyone because Grace goes without any backup. Here I find a nice spread of pictures that led me down memory lane to remember that I am an orphan. 8 years of therapy down the drain just because I wanted to stay at a cheap hotel. I'm met in the hotel by a friendly policeman who decided to come find me just as he's about to turn into a zombie. How thoughtful of him. I can't show it on YouTube for fear of them demonetizing me, stealing my Pokemon card budget, but I take care of him. Editor, put in a picture of a cat instead. The main baddie Victor captures Grace and we cut to a rather badass shot of Leon appearing. I was really excited seeing Leon. Man has unlimited aura and he will smack you with a one-liner almost every 5 minutes. After clearing out an entire city street full of infected, we grab our first of 49 achievements, Deja Vu. This is a story-driven achievement that we get for just progressing naturally through the game. 1 down, 48 to go. I'm 0-2 in my platinum challenges, so I desperately need a win here. At roughly 1 achievement every 45 minutes, we're not off to a great pace. I'm from Iowa though, and math ain't been invented here yet, so someone might need to check on that. Grace is captured and taken to a care center, which houses one of the scariest monsters I've ever seen. It doesn't help that Grace runs slower than a 2-legged horse. Every time I'm running away, I feel like a toddler slowly walking down the hallway. I'm running for my life here, Grace. Can we pick up the pace? Thankfully, this horrifying monster has one glaring weakness, light. Thomas Edison coming up clutch yet again. If Grace just had a phone, we could just turn the phone flashlight on and we'd be perfectly fine. Listen, Grace, if it was me and a giant monster was chasing me, I'm going to be breaking land speed records. Usain Bolt is going to fall to his knees in a Wawa. After we find 2 fuses and escape, the monster drags us back into the darkness. Before we're breaded up and turned into a corn dog, we cut to the Aura King himself, Leon. Leon enters the care center for the sole reason to drop as many one-liners as humanly possible.
Welcome. Dr. Gideon has been expecting you.
Funny. I don't remember getting an invitation.
We're led around by a nurse who gets snuck up on by a zombie, and rather than saving her life, Leon just watches a zombie walk up on her for a good 30 seconds before she gets cut up by a chainsaw. Now it makes sense why Leon didn't save the nurse. He was busy thinking of a great one-liner.
I think I want a second opinion.
Leon manages to dispatch all the infected who are pouring into the room, even this one who is testing out a new method of transportation. After this, we find our first Mr. Raccoon collectible for achievement number 2. There's 25 of these cute raccoons scattered throughout the game, and collecting them all nets us yet another achievement. Leon's storylines cross with Grace's just as she's about to be devoured, and he saves her with the Requiem. See? The best gun in the game is also the name of the game. Leon and Grace are separated by technology as he was standing on the other side of the gate as it closed. Unlimited plot armor foiled by a gate. Shortly after this, I scored another achievement for storing an item in the storage chest. The care center as Grace is by far the best part of Resident Evil 9. Open world exploring with Grace as you defeat enemies and solve puzzles, while managing limited supplies in an ever-growing maze of hallways and doors. This is peak Resident Evil. I snuck my way past a chef who was running a kitchen that is still cleaner than most episodes of Kitchen Nightmares. I'll be back to serve this chef his own meatballs for another achievement later. I made my way to the first of 3 lockboxes placed throughout the care center. I have to collect 3 stones and place them in the front door to leave. Kind of inconvenient for the people who work here to have to do this every day to leave, but that's corporate America. One of Grace's biggest issues is that she wears women's jeans. She has absolutely no pocket space. Inventory management is an absolute pain with Grace. But getting this hip pouch upgrade gives me 2 more slots so I can store 2 more empty bottles for some reason. In the blood lab, I analyzed some blood specimens and unlocked a new crafting recipe for Grace. This also netted me the science achievement. Bill Nye would be proud. The crafting recipe is big because it unlocks the ability to create Ozempic for the zombies. These Ozempic injectors insta-kill most zombies, and they're super useful for Grace. Using one on the doctor zombie netted me another achievement. Crafting some more of the Ozempic using zombie blood got me yet another achievement for crafting an item for the first time. Speaking of Ozempic, the next boss of the care center is Chunk. While he looks like the average Discord mod, he isn't really much of a threat. He mainly just blocks entire hallways, forcing me to find another route. I found my first lockpick and I used it to open this drawer, popping another easy achievement. Unlocking the injector was big. It meant I could come back and deal with the Gordon Ramsay impersonator. One injector was enough to defeat him, and beating him as Grace unlocks another achievement. You also get the pantry key, which is sticky to the touch for some reason. While in the pantry looking for some snacks, I got some goodies including my first charm. I also got an achievement for using 300 blood samples for crafting items. To defeat Chunk, I had to scavenge the entire care center for enough materials to make 3 injectors. You need 3 to defeat him on casual, and man, I feel bad for Chunk. But putting him out of his misery gets us another achievement for beating him as Grace. Shortly after this, a Susan Boyle zombie summoned up 3 zombies with her beautiful singing, and I was able to skillfully line them up and blast them with my lone Requiem shot, getting me the bang for your buck achievement for shooting 3 zombies with 1 Requiem bullet. The achievements are really flying off the shelf now, but they will slow down. I went back to Susan Boyle and gave her some constructive criticism, taking down the second singer zombie for another achievement. We continue to progress through the care center, getting the second door crystal, and then doing an organ transplant on a zombie just to kill him again and take his nice wristband. Why we couldn't just take the wristband in the first place, I don't know. I don't make the rules here. While carrying a blind girl named Emily, I had to put the moves on some zombies. You know what, Lego, you tell the joke.
Moving like prime Kyler Murray, am I right?
Just as things were going fine, we got Cleveland Browns. Lego will appreciate that one. The light monster is back, and she abducted Emily. So we're gonna have to go to this dark, scary basement to save her. She has the last crystal for the front door, so we don't have a choice. If I'm Grace here, I am not going down there. Not for all the Pokemon cards in the world. Wait, never mind. I would do it for some of the Pokemon cards in the world. Let's go. Back to Leon in the attic, and he's found Chunk's brother Chonk, having a family-sized KFC bucket of chicken all to himself. Leon was offended he wasn't even offered a measly wing, so I had to put him out of his misery.
Sorry, but I'm not on the menu.
One of the really cool parts of Resident Evil 9 is that Leon eventually enters the care center in the exact same state that Grace left it in. All the zombies that Grace couldn't beat, we can actually beat them in style with Leon. I find a compensator attachment for the pistol, and attaching that gives us an achievement for upgrading a weapon for the first time. Man, Leon's axe has insane plot armor. This axe could block the punch that killed Porkus D. Ace at Marineford. I'm wasting its potential parrying a mere zombie, but it does give me another achievement. Sticking with axe-themed achievements, we get another for finishing 3 enemies off with the axe. I mean, most of these are pretty hard to miss on any normal playthrough, but it's good just to knock them out early. Oh man, this zombie is gonna get clowned on by his friends for the position he died in. What are you doing, bro?
That's my cardio for the week.
Oh my god, Leon, dude. We're back to Grace as she's on a death mission for a little girl that she met 30 minutes ago. The basement is another creepy section. There isn't much to touch on here. You have to find 3 electrical plugs to turn the power on to escape. You're mainly juggling the plugs to access different areas while the light monster jump scares you. Do you guys think anyone will be able to tell if I pee in this pool? I've been holding it for hours. Every toilet in the care center is disgusting. After finding all 3 plugs and saving Emily, we escape via the elevator. I don't mind the basement section, but man, it was more spooky than the one night I stayed in Kentucky. Worst state ever. 0 out of 10. Back at the care center, I took a break to try and get an achievement. There are a few blind zombies who only react to sound. If you play your cards just right and throw an empty bottle, you can get them to attack other zombies. This sounds easy, but I had to reload my save a few times before I got it. The key here is to throw the bottle between the zombies and not at the zombie that you're trying to get hit. After we were done with the care center, we unlocked the door and got the achievement for escaping the care center. I mean, the door has a glass plane. Are you telling me we couldn't just break the glass and hop out? It seems silly to me to go through all these steps. Conveniently, there's a working helicopter and a pilot outside willing to take us away. Even more conveniently, the keys to the helicopter are inside this house that doubles as a secret laboratory. I leave Emily with a complete stranger, and I head in. I mean, this whole section is pretty much a nothing burger. We get the keys that are left on a desk, and we unlock all the doors because Victor doesn't practice good cybersecurity practices. If you're going to leave your PC unlocked with sensitive data, you're just asking for trouble. The only notable part of this section is that Daz Mouse makes his first appearance of the video. Run, Daz. Run back to your family. To the surprise of absolutely nobody at all, the chopper that Grace and Emily were on ends up crashing near a church. Thankfully, Leon is nearby to cover Grace as she tries to make an escape. What happened to the helicopter pilot? Why do you care? He's dead. This section is actually a pretty fun minigame. I had to tune back into my sniping in Halo 3 days to save Grace. If anyone is watching this who played Halo 3 with me, you'll know that Grace is cooked. Super fun section though, capped with a Leon cheesy one-liner. Perfect Resident Evil.
Excuse me.
In the church, we have a fun and challenging boss fight against what looks to be a Last of Us bloater. My old geezer aim did make this one challenging. I did pick up an achievement for throwing an axe into the bloater. After this, we have another Grace section where the goal is to turn the lights on. They are really loading me up with Requiem ammo to fight the light monster once and for all. I put this ammo to good use and I blasted her to grab an achievement for stunning her with the Requiem. Didn't know you could do that until now. Once we have all three switches flipped, we can open the roof and kill the light monster once and for all. Her death is pretty graphic, so here's a recreation of me doing it in Minecraft. My nightmares are finally over. My wife and I can finally sleep with the lights off again tonight. But we did all this to save Emily though, so it's absolutely worth... Oh. I'm receiving word that Emily turned into a grotesque monster, and Leon killed her in like 3 shots. Well, so much for saving Emily. Grace is mad at Leon for killing a literal monster and decides the best course of action is to leave with Victor and another bad guy, Zeno? What? Grace makes worse decisions than people who choose Bulbasaur as their starter. Man, I'm really in a Pokemon mood. Let's expect a playthrough soon. Chasing after Grace to save her brings Leon back to Raccoon City in another really fun section of the game. Before we can fully enter the city, we have to defeat a pesky spider. This guy would be considered small by Australian standards, but if I saw this thing in Iowa, I would have to call the National Guard. We ride the spider down to the subway tunnels and use our trusty axe to make sure he's never coming back. The Raccoon City section of the game is second only to the Care Center in terms of absolute excellence. This entire portion of the game is nearly non-stop action with Leon as you're fighting waves and waves of zombies looking for 3 detonator parts. I was given a warm introduction back to Raccoon City by this zombie who hit me with an absolute piss missile of a rock throw. We're 7 hours into the game and we have a new feature, the upgrade box. You get points for killing enemies and you can spend them to upgrade your guns and gear. We got an achievement for buying a new pistol here, and I really enjoyed how this section was more of an arcade shooter rather than a pee your pants horror show. My pants could use some time to dry. Resident Evil 9 does a fantastic job of balancing both genres. Things were pretty smooth until this section, where not only do the zombies have guns, but they also have mortars, and I could not help but laugh at this sequence of events. I had a sweet chainsaw battle with this zombie as we were reenacting the gas crisis of 2026. This is how I know that Resident Evil 9 is a work of fiction, because if Raccoon City had any gas, the United States would have nuked them a long time ago. To get to the final detonator part, we have to climb up this fallen skyscraper. This is the part of the game where I would abandon Grace and leave Raccoon City. Yeah, we can just edit this clip out of the final video. Upon reaching the top of the tower, I got an achievement for defeating 300 enemies in the perfect way. I took an elevator down from the tower and locked in another story-based progression achievement. I feel like this game's missing something, but I just can't quite put my finger on it. Oh yeah, Fast and the Furious style motorcycle chase after the bad guy. How could I forget? During the motorcycle sequence, we get another hard to miss achievement for stopping one of Victor's RPG attacks. To get this, you just have to shoot him in the back while there's a little red arrow above his head. Alright, this is what I'm talking about, Leon. Grace is running from her life against unspeakable monsters, and you're lollygagging and farming style points. Get real, bozo. After the motorcycle section, we end up back at Raccoon City Police Department for the first time since Resident Evil 2. A really cool callback to the original games, and another achievement. Wait, hold on. Am I hallucinating? Because what the hell is this thing? I really gotta stop sniffing computer duster before I film these videos. Can anyone explain to me what I just saw, or are we all gonna just ignore that like I ignore my creepy Uncle Randall? After completing the RPD section, we find Grace with Zeno, and it's revealed to us that Emily was just another failed clone of Grace. They did look alike. Grace is a key to releasing something named Elpis. This reveal takes us into a flashback in one of the worst sections of the game, the orphanage. I had to play this 3 times, and I audibly groaned each time. I would rather walk through a football field of Legos barefoot than do this a 4th time. Thankfully, it's not a very long section, and I use a bit of speedrunning tech to save some more time. On this section where you drop the key, instead of hiding, run straight to the hatch and spam the interact button. Alright, enough of the weird parts of the game, back to the real game. Leon's met by an old nemesis. Named Nemesis. Alright, that checks out. He's actually called Super Tyrant, but he looks like Nemesis, alright? Whatever. He chases you around for a bit until you make it to this doorway, which triggers a cutscene. He doesn't stay away for long, as 10 minutes later he's throwing missiles at me like I'm... Huh, that's weird. Why'd that get censored? He's throwing missiles at me like I'm... Huh. This boss battle isn't anything special. Dodge his attacks while shooting the glowing spot on his chest. Once he goes down, hit him with the God Axe. You can parry his melee attacks, which is pretty badass. Do keep in mind you can't parry the cars he throws at you. I made this fight a lot harder than it actually was. Most times instead of attacking, he just stares menacingly at me. Once he goes down for good, we get an achievement for defeating the Super Tyrant. A pretty fun boss battle. I gave Weenie Hut General a good old Halo 3 teabagging, and we were off to search for Ark. Down in the sewers, there are 9 plant monsters that attack you. They don't pose much of a threat, but defeating all 9 of them is another achievement. Past one final giant plant boss is the entrance to Ark, and another story-driven achievement. Almost through the first playthrough, and we are well on pace to get this platinum in under 24 hours. Resident Evil 9 is a survival horror game. This it does very well. It briefly turns into a first-person shooter game as you fight these elite soldiers. That the game does not do well. But I guess it's pretty short overall, so I can't really complain too much. In Ark, we run into another Captain Badass who hits us with a one-liner. Hey buddy, that's my thing. The fight against the commanders in Axe Brawl, you basically just need to parry his attacks and deal damage. It took me a couple tries to get him down. He must have eaten the gum fruit because bullets do absolutely nothing to this man. Defeating the commando gets us a massive axe upgrade, and it allows us to absorb his essence to deliver 25% more effective one-liners. Leon meets up with Grace again, and we lock in the achievement for making it to Ark's lower levels. Leon is infected with the T-virus, and it's very quickly affecting him. We have to move a crane as Grace to save Leon, and we're introduced to one final new enemy of the game, the Lickers. These bad boys are the final evolution of Lickitung. They only use their tongues for evil though. No Vaporeon situations here. Ark is home to the final safe in the game, and unlocking it gets us an achievement for opening all 5 safes. Once we're back playing with Leon, we see that the T-virus has infected him with Cortana vision, reminding me of one of the worst levels in all of the Halo franchise. You know the one. Cutting off a Licker's tongue for personal use is another achievement. If you're using this video as an extremely long achievement guide, first off, that's insane. Second off, use the Mortal Edge axe that you got from the Commando. For some reason, parrying with the other one just doesn't work effectively. We've made it back to the main bad guys. Leon is in really bad shape, so we decide to enter the password for Elpis. The password was just password, continuing the main villain's trend of awful cybersecurity practices. It turns out Elpis is a cure for the T-virus, which makes Zeno lose all of his powers and also gives him lupus. Leon gets cured by Elpis and Victor kills Zeno, beginning the final boss fight against Victor. During the fight, he drops an RPG. I pick it up, and now I have to spend the next 5 minutes trying to organize my inventory to fit this massive gun in it. Cue the 5-minute inventory management minigame. I was cracking up laughing because this is just hilarious to think. Hold on, give me a minute to organize my guns while I'm fighting you. Once we defeat Victor's second phase, Leon delivers one more one-liner for the road, and the game is complete.
This time, you ain't getting back up.
The army happens to swing in about 5 minutes too late, as I already did all the heavy work. But that's the first run completed. We got 3 achievements for finishing the game, and this ends phase 1 of the 100% run. We're over halfway to the time limit, and we have 14 achievements to go. I'm having a good feeling about this one. Phase 2 of the run is simple. Hop around to random points in the game to find collectibles and finish any miscellaneous achievements I missed. I'm starting this process by loading an old save, harvesting some blood, and using a blood transfusion bag over and over. After a few minutes of this, we get the achievement Bloodlust for collecting 5,000 blood samples. Next on the menu was crafting every possible item as Leon. The game doesn't tell you what specific items you haven't crafted, but I don't remember making a grenade or machine gun ammo. So I make those two things and I get the achievement. Our last random achievement is opening all 3 BSAA containers. Somehow I missed this one on the very edge of Raccoon City, and it had a new sniper in it that I didn't get to use at all. The last step of a very short phase 2 was file and raccoon cleanup. Most of these are out in the open, so I was only missing 4 raccoons and 7 files. Using handy dandy Google, I created a nice little spreadsheet to snag them all up. The most notable of all the files was this one tucked away in the RPD library. Take a look at this one, boys. Last on my list is to grab one more very hidden raccoon statue just outside of Kendo's gun shop. A few of these are harder to find than the One Piece, but after you complete the game, you can buy maps to see them all easily. Phase 2 is complete. I'm missing 1 more raccoon and 2 files that I didn't have easy access points to. Phase 3 is also simple. Complete another casual run in under 4 hours without healing and without using the blood collector as grace. In this run, I'll also grab the last couple files and raccoons that I need for those achievements. There are some skips that I know of to make this run faster, but that would require skill and patience. I have neither of those things. To help me out, I have 2 things for my first run. One is knowledge of what to do and where to go. That'll speed things up tremendously. And 2 is an unbreakable knife that I bought from the shop for Grace. The knife is pretty strong when Grace runs out of ammo against normal zombies. It's not Michonne's katana by any means, but it's an infinite use pocket knife, so that's good, I guess. On a second playthrough, Leon also has access to his upgrade box really early in the game, so Leon is massively buffed. I grab one of the 2 files I'm missing here in the attic, and we absolutely obliterate chunk number 2. Most of the game is the same, but done faster, so I'm really only showing the highlights here. I speedran the basement part because my pants are still drying from the first run. That part is scary. The last Mr. Raccoon I need is in the sniper section. It's almost impossible to find if you don't know where to look, but achievement unlocked. Got all those little rascals. The game is going by so quickly with Leon's buffed weapons and charms. We're back at Raccoon City in no time. Here I hit the threshold for 200,000 credits and knocked out another achievement. Hey, just popping in to see if the orphanage still sucks the second time around, and yep, still the worst part of the game. Most of the strategy for speedrunning is just to run straight past all the enemies. Most of them are absolutely terrible at their jobs, which is just to grab you. Just avoid everything like I avoid eating wheat bread, and you should be fine. You cannot tell me that white bread is worse than wheat bread. Wheat bread is just propaganda by Big Bread. In Ark, I grabbed the last file I need for the case closed achievement. If you don't grab this one before you progress, you're locked out of the area, and that's what I did the first time around. But all files unlocked, don't have to worry about that anymore. We defeated Victor for a second time, and we locked in our speedrun. I was cutting it close, but any particularly bad sections, you can just reload the saves. It is a spliced run, not a continuous one, so deaths reset your timer. If deaths were counted, I might have lost this challenge. Run number 2 is complete, netting us 3 more achievements, 1 for no healing, 1 for no blood collector, and 1 for the speedrun. I had a modest time of 3 hours, 33 minutes, and 55 seconds, which isn't bad, but like I said, I was cutting it close. Thankfully, the 4 hours is pretty lenient for a casual speedrun. Phase 4 of the run is to complete the game yet again, but on the hardest difficulty, Insanity. I only have 6 hours left in my challenge to accomplish this. Logically, it sounds like this will be an insane task. Get it? There's a reason that this run was saved for last, though. Using the credits I earned from achieving the other 44 achievements, I bought 2 insanely game-breaking upgrades. Infinite ammo and infinite RPGs. The RPG insta-kills anything, even on Insanity mode. Zombies, bosses, even Leon. The game is a bit different on Insanity. Zombies spawn as stronger variants, move faster, and are typically larger in number. Infinite RPG and Requiem go boom boom and makes this super easy. I'm only going to touch on the absolute high points. To start the run, I got the 1 achievement I will get before we beat the game, saving the game with an ink ribbon. On harder difficulties, you can only save if you find one of these ink ribbon items. One of the prior achievements that I got unlocked me an infinite ink ribbon, so this fact is useless. Here's another useless fact. Most kangaroos are left-handed. Want another? Technically, bananas are considered to be berries. Apparently in Insanity mode, you have to fight the zombie version of Paul Skeens because this zombie just yeeted a running chainsaw at me. I will say it is extremely satisfying just smoking through the care center as Grace with infinite Requiem ammo. Man, I brought this poor guy back to life 3 times just to blast him down each time. We are zooming through this playthrough faster than the speedrun even. The sniper section has some notable changes. 2 zombies spawn in the building with you, but you can take them out before the section starts. In fact, all the zombies are loaded in as the section starts. So if you just know to look for them, you can snipe them before they even start moving. Oh, what a joy, back at the orphanage again. At this point, I was so ready to be done with this game. Playing this was grindier than chopping trees for a 10-hour shift in RuneScape. Arc as Grace is genuinely the first difficult section of the run. Leanne decides to hold onto the Requiem while he waits in a dump, so I only have access to the BB gun pistol. And of course I haven't upgraded this thing the entire playthrough either. I was hard stuck here. Shooting a licker takes at least 10 shots to bring them down, and they're so much faster than Grace. Shooting any of the roaming zombies will alert a herd of lickers, which sounds fun, but trust me, it's not. I am thankful I have a gun at all, because it's possible to not grab one in the care center and just not have anything for this section at all. After 20 minutes of trying to brute force my way through, I finally sneaked through. I got just lucky enough that I made it through. The end was within my grasp. I defeated Victor with a single RPG blast, technically two, one for each phase, and the game was over. Achievements unlocked for completing the game on Insanity and Standard difficulty, and this run was even 30 minutes faster than my speedrun time. All that's left to do now is buy all the concept models and view them for our final two achievements, Curator and Model Mania. After 21 hours, 41 minutes, and 25 seconds, we had all 49 achievements in Resident Evil Requiem. RE9 is a very good entry into the Resident Evil series. The Care Center and Raccoon City are fantastic areas and were a ton of fun on every playthrough. There were some sections of the game that were less fun, but nothing that really ruined the overall experience. I would rank it an 8.5 out of 10. Solid game. I don't think it's worth $70, so wait for it to go on sale. Now that I mention it, I don't know if any game is worth $70 to be honest. Not even Peggle. Our Platinum Challenge record on the channel improves to 1 and 2. It's nice to get that first win under the belt, but this video has been long enough. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe and join our Discord below. I'll see you in the next one.